see her arms and her neck and face. So you can see that they're not very showy. And then there's pictures.
There's pictures?
Of like a Memorial Day presentation, organ, sequential celebration. It just kind of shows, okay, you're about to run in.
Oh.
So you're gonna. Yeah.
Oh, they're up there.
Yeah. So there's some down there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe back up a little bit and then you'll get it. I'm right behind you. Sorry. Perfect. And then down below, there's like a showing case of pictures.
Oh, cool.
And then we're gonna turn around a little bit, and then right here,
Mm-hmm.
down a little, there's some crystals that it shows, and there's like purple, a quartz crystal, and then a druzy quartz on fluorite crystals.
Oh, cool.
And there's a geode.
Nice.
And they're pretty big. Like the geode is probably the size of a football. The purple one, they're all about the size of the football. The quartz one is a little bit smaller. And then there's like a showing that shows ladies' boots. Mamie Cavan wore these boots when she was rock camping. And they're very tall. And lace goes, or not lace, ties go up all the way. And on the other wall, there's like a couple. Yeah, you're getting that on. And on the other wall, there's a couple, like it shows the 1920s swim cap. And there's a couple other like swimming suits, and they don't show like any belly. They're like the one pieces.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're not like comfy. Like they look like the material would not be comfy.
Yeah.
And it shows pictures of like people wearing them and what the swimming pools look like. And it talks about Samos Springs. It was conducted in 1901 near Baker City, and it was like a hot springs.
Wow.
Yeah, and so there's just a bunch of pictures of people at that hot springs.
Yeah.
It was near here.
I can think of like the definition and I can't think of it.
Yes, I can picture that if you keep walking. There's a wooden water pipe.
Yeah.
It says this is a section of the pipe that brought water from Samos Springs, which is the hot springs we were just talking about, to the old Nat. When the wood is soaked with water, it swells and becomes watertight. The wire allows the wood to expand and contract, holding its shape. So there's, if you move your phone to the right. Perfect.
Okay.
So there's wire wrapped around this big wooden piece. And it says there are less and less communities using this type of water line, but it's still a very efficient way of moving water.
Interesting.
Because it expands with it.
What's that noise? Over there.
It is in a different room.
Oh.
People are playing with something tactile.
Yeah.
Because still everyone's just walking around exploring things on their own.
Yeah.
Do you want to? We could go in there.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what room we were supposed to explore.
It's definitely a better route than trying to dive in.
Okay. So there's going to be two steps right here.
Oh no.
Right there. Last one. And then if we go to stop to the right, the noise was, I'm trying to see what it was.
Hey, we're your stomach.
Oh, it's a pack your wagon. We're headed your way. So you get to, there's little wooden pieces
Yeah.
that you get to choose what you take in your wagon.
Oh, cool.
And only so many things can fit. And so it's down below right here.
Okay.
To your right.
It's for like carrying your wagon.
And so that one says camping and cooking supplies. And all the other pieces are to the right.
Okay. Where's the stuff?
They're on the.
They say things like this one right here, Miguel. This one says coarse salt and it says 50 pounds.
And so like you get to choose.
You are trying not to pack it too much.
And so like
Are the stuff in here?
this is like a coffee display, and it says
Okay.
like roasted beans,
That's
what's
out of that.
available. All the options are on the other side,
Oh, they're on the other side.
but we can wait until.
No, they're so silly. If you're reasoning.
Are you having a hard They're doing math and figuring out how much
Yep.
they can take.
Okay, we're
in the
at
wagon.
16. We can add a lot more crap.
Alright, now we're gonna want to add this. Yeah, and so they're like magnets on this piece. And so that's what that sound is them clicking on this board.
What else is over here?
Okay. So this is still the display,
Yeah.
like this right here, like a foot ahead of you. If you put out your arm,
Yeah.
you can down. Like this, that's like a wooden display.
Okay.
And if you go over here,
Is there stuff in here?
right there,
Yeah.
is like a dried apple display, and it says settlers dried lots of fruit and vegetables because there were no grocery stores along the trail, and it took to fill this bag. And so what is in front of us is like food displays and bags and like how much they were able to get.
Yeah.
And then there's like boxes, like this wooden box that you felt earlier right
Yeah.
there. That one says like coffee, and so it shows how big the box is of food and stuff. So that one says lead, and that's how much lead they were only able to get, and it's little.
Oh wow. What is this thing?
That is, let me. Oh, so this is the same pack your wagon thing, and those are your options that you can put on the board.
So what's this one?
That one is flour, 200 pounds.
Put flour on the bottom.
And so it says what you need for your journey to Oregon. The trip is over 2,000 miles and will take up to 6 months to complete. You'll need at least 1,000 pounds of food along with your cooking supplies, clothes, and tools to build your new life.
Okay.
Remember, there are no grocery stores or clothing outlets, so you'll need at least 1,000 pounds of food, and there's like a little box to show how big the wagon is.
Okay.
And so if we put flour on the bottom,
Yeah.
and so that one says coffee beans, 100 pounds.
Whenever we're ready, we're gonna go upstairs, and then we're gonna go to a ballroom. That's what we're meeting.
Oh, thank you. So that we're all, whenever we're ready, we're gonna go to a ballroom upstairs.
Does this all fit on here?
So there's like a rectangle. I don't think all of them would fit because you have to like place them.
I'm just putting them on there. I don't even know how much is on here.
A lot. Yeah.
Put that one here. Put that one there.
But it's not like the rectangle that you can feel. There's a like rectangle piece.
Uh-huh.
And so I think it's made to show like you can't take everything, you know?
Oh, really?
I think that's, yeah, because I think it would be hard to, because like one of them, like one of the magnets that you put on is like books. And so it would just depend what the family,
What
or
is
there's
this?
a chicken coop. That one says piano, 500 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
So depending what people decided.
And what is
Okay.
this?
Camping and cooking supplies.
Okay, we want that.
You took a chicken coop that was 50 pounds.
Where's the chicken coop?
Right here.
That's a chicken coop?
Yep.
Let's put the chicken coop back at the piano.
So far you have flour, coffee beans, coarse salt, cornmeal, rice, bacon, tools, flour, furniture, more bacon, sugar, clothing, water, flour, books, navy beans, and blacksmithing supplies. But also I
What's
haven't.
this?
So those are two stuck together.
Okay.
That one that you have in your hand is dried onions and carrots.
Okay. Put that one on there.
Okay.
Where's this one?
Cast iron stove, 400 pounds.
Alright.
Did they take a cast iron
Sorry.
stove?
And we're gonna head up to the ballroom, and then we'll have a bunch of time after the presentation to wander around down here.
Okay.
So we'll head upstairs to the ballroom. So there's going to be 2 stairs down, the same
Okay.
ones that we took earlier.
Alright, we're gonna head upstairs to the ballroom.
Okay.
Also,
Are we gonna dance?
turn right a little bit. There you go.
Are we gonna do ballroom dancing?
Are you? They do have an elevator. Would you rather take the elevator or stairs?
We can take the elevator, see how that works.
I was trying to find the elevator.
Oh, we can take the stairs, fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. There's quite a few. So.
Who's singing?
I don't know. I can't see them. So you're gonna come up on the stairs.
Okay. Chloe.
Hi, Victor.
Hello.
Okay, so then one more stair is gonna be flat, and you're gonna turn right,
So many stairs.
and then you have
Miguel,
four
there's
more
an elevator
stairs.
I just found too. So
Oh.
on the way down, if you want an elevator.
One more stair, flat, and we're gonna
Okay.
go straight through a door.
What's in here?
This is the ballroom.
Oh.
So now
What do they have in here?
everyone is sitting on the floor, and this has like it shows a dining room table, like the kitchen, and what I see from them talking, it's like every room of the house,
Yeah.
and it's very big and
Is there-
echoey.
Pictures?
Yes, there's like mannequins, and there's different shelves.
Hello.
And there's different shelves with pictures in them. And there's a wagon with like packed things to show you how full a wagon would be. And there's two people standing in the front getting ready to talk to us about, I'm sure, all of this.
We can sit there? What's this?
This is a bench.
Oh.
So would you rather sit on the bench or the
Yeah.
floor?
I'll sit on the bench.
Okay, and it's right here. And you'll have to turn to the right because the people are standing.
Oh.
So you could just look to the right.
Okay.
Yeah. More to the right.
Let's see if we can get a shot of everyone.
Perfect.
Think you can get a shot of everyone?
If you just go like around the room, move it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like this?
Like, yeah, to the right more.
Yeah.
And they go all the way like right here.
Of course. Cool.
Yep. And then he's just sitting on the floor right beside you.
He knows. He's like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm Spider-Man.
Oh shit, that feels good, dude.
Yeah, I know how to give massages.
No shit.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anybody else ever give me a massage?
All you had to do was just ask. Uh-huh.
Bro, where'd you get the Gatorade?
Uh-huh.
Like 6 separate.
You forgot where you got? No, it's yours, dude.
I got it from my dog.
From where?
I found all your knots.
Oh.
I found your knots, sir.
Huh?
You have knots in your back.
I know. I was like, I haven't gotten a massage for years, man. Lovington, why don't you ever give me massages, Joe?
I was gonna go to massage school. They're debating on
He
it.
gives them for free if you ever want one. Oh,
There's nothing wrong with giving a bro a massage. There's
you don't want it?
I don't need one.
You don't want it? Sure, alright.
You need you went swimming.
Yeah, I did go small. Cool shoes.
You know, in school, I doesn't really give.
You're YouTube
I know.
famous now,
She's
Nate.
cool, dude. Of course cool.
Nate, you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
You have a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know where to point the camera?
I don't know. Just point in whatever direction.
Oh shit.
You hope it's going the right one.
Yo, why don't you wave to me?
Huh?
Oh, is it on?
Yes, I'm actually recording
What's
right now.
up?
Yeah.
Let's go, dude. I'm gonna get famous.
So it's finally had 21 subscribers, but
Yo,
I'm trying to get people.
can I advertise my GoFundMe or my OnlyFans?
You're you have an OnlyFans?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah.
How long have you had it?
Dude, me and Levinston get down on my OnlyFans, dude.
You and Lemons are gonna get down on your OnlyFans.
Gotta make money how you can, dude.
You know, people would buy stuff like that. They'll buy pictures. Of course, you would have an OnlyFans, Nate. Nothing Nate would not do.
There's some things I wouldn't do. Nah, there's a lot I wouldn't do.
Okay, Nate, tell me
I
what you
just-
would not do.
I wouldn't do a lot of shit. I just
Talking
act.
with Nate. Okay.
I don't say anything. I
Dun
don't
dun
do
dun
much.
dun dun dun
I get
dun.
nervous, man.
Talking with Nate.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to ask that, like, while we're chatting and everything, we not talk over each other. This room is super echoey, and I have a hard time hearing over people when there's a lot going on. So we're gonna kick it old school with like a raise your hand sort of thing. But it's okay with everybody. My name is Gracie, and I am a programming coordinator and collections manager here at the Baker Heritage Museum. So I kind of wear a lot of hats in my job. I put on all of our programs, as well as do all of our like preservation and conservation work with our artifacts. I also do a lot of research for exhibits and sortation and things like that. So there's a lot that goes into it. Sarah?
Yeah, I'm Sarah Sherman. I'm the project manager for the National Historic Oregon Trail Interpretive Center. And yes, I'm still getting used to catching my breath after saying all of those words. Basically, if you don't know about the Interpretive Center, I'm assuming a lot of you locals have been up to the top of the hill, but it's under construction right now. We're doing the whole outside of the building, so new roof, new windows, new doors. And I'm just kind of overseeing all of that, but also doing more community relations in town. So I'm very glad to be here. I've only been here since May, so hopefully you can cut me some slack. I'm still learning a lot. I just came from Arizona. For those, again, that don't know, the Interpretive Center is run by the Bureau of Land Management, so it is a federal building that we own and operate, which is really cool because there's not a lot of those, especially in the BLM. It's more like a Park Service thing. So I'm always happy to answer any questions, but thanks for letting me be here today. And all right, so let's first start. If you guys could tell me a little bit about the program that you guys are doing, and if you have any like initial questions to start off. I've already been put into a few of them, but let's just start the conversation. What do you guys want to talk about here? Yeah.
Are you hiring?
Not at the moment. I wish. I would love to have help. Hopefully sometime in the next couple of years. Yeah.
How are you?
Okay.
You can be a personal driver.
All right. Let's start with what have you guys
No.
talked about at the other stops on your field trips? Let's start there. Yeah.
I'll pay you. Let's see. $25 an hour?
$25 an hour to drive you around?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay. Sweet.
Or I'll buy you food.
That's cool. That's really cool. Okay, anybody else want to contribute? Okay. All right, so how does that tie into what you guys are doing with this program? It's called the Bridge Program. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so how does that tie into like the broader topic of this program? Yeah.
So our topic is historical place.
Okay.
So we're learning about the places and the culture of those places. We did talk about
You are so dense.
I don't know what it's like. Yeah, the whole one project is like it's like a little mini museum.
Okay.
We learned a little about mostly like what Grace was saying about like plants and stuff like some native plants like camas and some of the
So one question that was floating around was, what does this museum cover? Like, what is the point of this museum? Great question, because when you walk in, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, there's a ton of stuff here, tons of different exhibits. How does it all tie together? So this museum is an entity of the county. So we represent history from the entire county. Now this museum has up until now been 99% volunteer run, and there's one of my volunteers stayed. So what we have downstairs, when you walk in, we've got an exhibit on the history of the building. That's our largest artifact. So this building was built as a natatorium in the 1920s. Do you know what a natatorium is? Because a lot of people don't. I didn't, and I grew up down the street from this building. So, anybody have a guess? Natatorium. No?
Dancing building.
No.
Is it really?
No, not a church.
The dancing?
Yeah, so it was originally a swimming pool. We had an indoor swimming pool.
Oh.
Straight, if you look down over the balcony in there, that's where the pool was. And it operated until World War II, at which point it closed. And they had a contractor in here that built truck beds for the war. When the war was over, the idea was that the pool would open back up and it would operate as the Natatorium and Community Center once again. But that didn't happen. It stayed empty, and the city had the grand idea to tear the building down. And then we get into a grassroots movement of the Baker County Historical Society. They said, this place has significance to our county, our community, our culture, and they saved it. And at that point, all of the windows were broken out. If you look outside when you walk in, there's murals all the way around. Those were all windows. So these are the only remaining windows. These ones and then the ones at the stairs. There were animals living in here. It was kind of the thing to go and just throw rocks, out the window. And they had to do a huge restoration project. This building is massive. It's 33,000 square feet, I believe.
Wow.
And so they opened as a museum, but just in the front two rooms. So where you saw the Oregon Trail exhibit, that was one, and then the other one was where the gift shop is. And now we use the entire museum. So establishing place, they decided that this place had cultural significance to us, but we can get into significant to who. So that's our first exhibit, is the building. Then we have different industries. So like agriculture, mining, lumber, timber, that's what I meant, all of that. And then up here we've got settlement after you get here from the trail. So we've got household vignettes, we've got like storefronts, we have a school, we've got a Native American exhibit and a wildlife exhibit.
Cool.
We've got another one of our largest collections is the Cabin Warfel Rock Collection, and they were two sisters that between the 1930s and 1980s collected rocks and gems and crystals from all over the world. So we're kind of like a mixture of a lot of things. So there's one question that was floating out there I'll answer. So in relation to your topic of place, do you have any questions about the history we covered here?
What's your favorite part of this museum?
My favorite part of this museum is actually part that the public doesn't get to see a lot, but I do. It's our photo collection, and we've got a lot of photos of the architecture of downtown. And we've got some really cool old buildings, and I would love to create an exhibit on just the architecture of Baker County. So yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Is there any exhibit you want to add more of?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are actually working on an exhibit right now that will open in April. So the museum closes at the end of October, and we use the really cold season to close, clean, update exhibits, different things like that. So the one downstairs, right before you walk up the stairs, is what we call our central gallery, and that is our rotating exhibit. It typically rotates every 2 years, but with COVID, that one has been down there for, I believe, 4. So at the end of the season, we will clear the room and we will put up a new exhibit. And it is an expansion of this one that's right over here. And it is the experience of Chinese immigrants in Baker County. And that is a largely untold story. Because, I mean, there's not a ton of documentation specifically here in the county, but there is regionally. So in Washington, California, Oregon, with those immigration records, and then you know, you can talk to I don't know if any of you follow the Oregon Historical Quarterly. They have a publication that just came out, and this is a big topic that is being researched and interpreted all over the country right now. So yeah, we're trying to expand on what we tell, and yeah, so that's one that we would like to end on. Yes.
Do you have like a least favorite exhibit, or do you just
Your least favorite.
My least favorite exhibit. All right, that's, I think right now, my least favorite exhibit is not because of the topic by any means. My least favorite exhibit right now is our Native American exhibit, is because it's underrepresented and underinterpreted. And so that is another one that we need to expand on. So the only reason it's my least favorite is because I don't like the way it wouldn't you say?
Yeah, the story just needs to be
Expanded, yeah.
Different perspectives.
Yeah.
How do you acquire things?
Oh, good one. Yeah, so when the museum first opened, people brought like truckloads of stuff. So we're dealing with a backlog of documentation of our artifacts, and since then, people just come in, they either bring them in and let us look at them, they send us an email with photos, and I have a collections committee, and we have a whole collections policy, all museums do, or they should, and so we decide, does it meet, well, one, does it fit the mission of our museum? So does it cover Baker County history? If it's something from, say, LaGrande, we're not going to accept it. We will advise that they take it to LaGrande or Newton County. And so everything is donated. We don't purchase our artifacts.
Then how do you expand when you want to expand in a particular area, and how do you attract donations?
Oh, good question. So what we're doing specifically with this exhibit, there are a lot of museums, especially on the west side, that are specifically like Chinese artifact related, or the story of Chinese immigrants. So we can do loans, and Kamwachung is another one over in John Day. And yeah, so we reach out to those other institutions, other organizations, and we say, hey, this is what we're doing. Here's, you know, the story we're telling. We need such and such type of artifact to supplement our story. Do you have anything like that? Or in some cases, when you're really lucky, they let you come and just look at what they have, and then you can just say, oh, I'd like that and that and that. So a lot of it is borrowing and partnership with other museums. Yeah. Yes.
How much would you say is borrowed? Like, how much of this is just borrowed?
Yeah, so currently, that's a good question, because I actually went up. So downstairs in the central gallery, a lot of it is borrowed because it is a temporary exhibit. Our permanent exhibits, I would say maybe 20 to 50 artifacts total are borrowed. I prefer not to take artifacts on loan if they're going into a permanent exhibit. They're harder to keep track of, and are more likely to be damaged by either the sun, the light, or if for any reason a kid is running around and knocks it over. So yeah, I try not to get those, but I've only been here for a year now, so there are things on loan that were out of my control. So yeah.
What's your most haunted object?
My what?
Most haunted
Everyone's close to the race question. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a visitor come in, and she just walked through the door and said, "Has anybody passed away in this building?" And there was a child who drowned in the pool, and she said that she could feel their presence. So I would say probably the whole building is more, maybe not haunted, but like inhabited.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, someone was all following you.
Yeah,
She was following you?
yeah.
Because you say almost all of the donations you got here,
What was she wearing?
would you say there's anything you can claim that's not authentic?
Huh?
Claim that's not authentic. Yeah, probably.
A lot?
Not on display. But we do have storage rooms that go around the perimeter of the upper level of the building, and they're all full. And what we're currently doing is a full inventory and condition assessment of all of our artifacts. We're starting with storage, and then we'll do all of the exhibits. And because it's easier to take a box of things and put them on a shelf, I would say, yeah, there's probably a few things that we could, what we call deaccession or get rid of out of our collection because it's either it's not authentic or it doesn't meet the mission of our museum. However, when you put things on display, you have to actually like research that object or see how it fits in. So I would say it's far less likely that anything you see out is not authentic. But yeah, good question. Yeah. Yeah, so we started with one storage room and it took us 3 months, but we were also closed for the season. So we had people here kind of all the time. I have like myself and an intern that are working on it, and it's a much slower process. So to complete it from start to finish, if you ask most museum professionals, they'll say it's never finished, which is true. But I would say probably it's a 3-year project, and it'll always cycle. So once we finish with all of them, we'll have a schedule. So every season we do one storage room or one exhibit space. That's why they say it's never done, because you should always be doing inventory. Yeah. The data collection. So what you have to do with an inventory is you go in and you have to look at every single piece. And we have a spreadsheet, and you have to create a description. You have to know the nomenclature to give it an actual name that will fit into the database. You have to measure it, you have to photograph it. I don't know, there's a lot.
It depends on the materials. So textiles and wooden things, obviously those are 2 different materials, and so it just depends on what's there, right? If you're inventorying a dress, you have to look at every piece of it. If you're inventorying Oregon Trail stuff, like a wooden ox yoke, it's pretty big, but at the same time, it's usually got a couple of components. So it really does vary object by object.
What if the pool was in here?
The way I describe that is usually like if you look at a tea set, that you may think, okay, well the tea set is one object, or even just like the teapot is one object, but it's not. So you have the teapot, you have the lid. If it's got like a cozy on it, that's another object. Those are all separate entries into the database and into your spreadsheet. So when she says if you have a dress, you've got the skirt, the bodice, you've got, sometimes there's detachable sleeves, you've got the undergarments, each individual one. So it's not just a dress, it's a lot of different things. So it's a big project, yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned like stuff.
Has a question? What's the question?
No, I mean, well, not since I've been here anyway. I'm a little stricter than a lot of people, but no, it's
not likely, because anything that's breakable is in a case or it's behind
I can ask
like
the
the
question
ropes.
if you want.
But sometimes you do have kids come in, and we did have an issue this winter where, or spring, it was cold, so, but it was spring. Where a family came in and there's a sleigh downstairs, and so they were climbing in it, and there are sleigh bells, where the leather is starting to fall apart a little bit. There's blankets in there, so, you know, when you do have kids climbing on it, there's that. Yeah. But not anything like glass. Yeah. It kind of depends on, that's a really good question, because I try not to deal with it. I try not to let it happen so that you don't have to deal with it. So it depends on what the artifact was. So if it's something you've got like many multiples of, then you mark it in your database as damaged. You can, depending on what it is, try and put it back together.
Speech on. 20%. Low pop close.
But, you know, it's
Camera.
kind of
Viewfinder.
just
Focus on
something really valuable, usually it's your shirt. And there's one point I want to make to that is usually we want to put out authentic things. I'm going to go back to your comment about authentic things. But sometimes
Viewfinder. Focus unlocked.
right?
Viewfinder.
So
Focus
you
unlocked.
say
Image.
that's not authentic because it is a duplicate or we've crafted it to be not the original, but it's like the original and you can get close to it and